Hey Axis and Allies players, the Good Captain here, and welcome to a very special video on this channel. As someone who plays a lot of Axis and Allies and also makes YouTube videos on this game, one of my hopes is that one day one or more of my videos will be debunked. There'd be nothing more exciting to me as a player than to have some new strategy or new information brought to light that changes something so dramatically that I'm essentially forced to take down one of my own videos for the good of the community. Well, that day has finally arrived, but not for the video that I expected. To fully understand the importance of this video, it's necessary to bring everyone up to speed on what TripleA is. So just to very quickly recap, TripleA is the premium online platform for which to play almost any version of Axis and Allies. It's a free to download program, a link of which will be in the description box below. The best thing about TripleA is that it essentially is bumper bowling with regards to rules. The program itself will not let you violate the rules. At least that's how it works under ideal circumstances. But other than Global 1940 and 1942 Second Edition, every version has some kind of bug that players need to be aware of, or they may inadvertently violate the game rules. And as someone who plays many different versions of Axis and Allies, this makes it incredibly difficult to find enough opponents to make the quality of videos that I do on this channel. In other words, it's hard to get people to make all the edits and go through all the rigmarole of actually getting to play a version of AAA that's not Global 40 or 1942. And nowhere was there a better example of this than the Axis and Allies D-Day variant on AAA. That version was so clunky that I had an entire Axis and Allies Clinic episode devoted to straightening it out. And it is that video that I'm happy to say will be removed from my channel because a community member has stepped forward and rescued not only that version of Axis and Allies on AAA, but multiple versions. And that is, of course, VictoryFirst, who is forevermore going to be immortalized in the Axis and Allies community, at least on this channel, as the hero we did not know we needed. For some of you, this name may be ringing bells, and that's because this fellow got a shout out in the 1914 series as being basically the person solely responsible for making that even possible. He did this by dredging up an old version of a AAA that someone made back in the day for 1914. I'm not done praising this individual yet, but let me cut to the chase and provide the content and purpose of this video. In the link in the description box below this video will be several modules with instructions on how to upload them into your AAA. I'm not going to run through the entire litany of fixes that he's made for each game, but I'll very briefly summarize. For Axis and Allies D-Day, the game runs in accordance with out-of-box rules, with very few exceptions. All you need to do is read the very short module notes before starting, and you'll be good to go. The same is essentially true for Axis and Allies Europe, which will be the subject of the next series of videos on this channel. There were several bugs and small problems in that game, but now it's much more streamlined, smooth, and easy to play. But of course, I've saved the best for last, because VictoryFirst took Axis and Allies 1914 and updated one of the biggest bugs in the core module. And that was that battles automatically occurred whether you wanted them to happen or not. Now there's a prompt that asks you if you would like to fight or stand down. There's no more editing that needs to happen for this module. He's done a number of other changes, including programming in the Russian Revolution rule, and it's just a fantastic upgrade to the original. But he didn't stop there. There were many folks who were disappointed that the 1914 tournament rules weren't supported on AAA. That's fixed now, so there's a module below this video for that download. But he was still not finished, and one of the more flattering aspects of this whole thing to me is that he created a module of 1914 with all of my balances or my balance recommendations programmed in, including the C-zone adjustment. So to cut to the chase, this video, and more specifically the comment section below this video, will serve as a repository for VictoryFirst's work in terms of upgraded AAA modules for Axis and Allies. Up until VictoryFirst showed up, the folks over at AAA have been extraordinarily uninterested in upgrading or doing this work for Canon series versions of Axis and Allies. And what he's done here is very important, because if we want Axis and Allies to continue on into the future, we need to have the robust player base that comes with a good online platform, and AAA is that platform. So I'm going to leave the old episode 6 of the Axis and Allies Clinic up for about a week for anybody who wants to download it for nostalgic purposes, but then it's coming down. It will be replaced with this one, and any new work that comes from him will be added to the description box below, so there's a single repository for all of this stuff. So I'm going to conclude this video and express just how stunned and thankful I am that this actually happened. This is really amazing. Whether you know it or not, this really helps out the Axis and Allies community and really helps project and keep this game system alive and going into the future. And I'll close with this. When I asked him if there was a PayPal account that I could post in the description box for us all to throw a few bucks his way for the good work that he's doing, here was his response. He followed up that with only one other request, and that was to give a shout out to the one fellow who gave him help through this process. So this is the dynamic duo, the Batman and Robin, that came in out of nowhere, updated these modules, and insofar as I'm concerned, saved Axis and Allies on AAA. And to anyone out there who's thinking of maybe being a copycat hero, you have my sympathy and full support. If VictoryFirst or his entourage produce any more modules that support Axis and Allies, I will absolutely announce that here and make them available for download. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching this. All the best from the good captain, and bye-bye.